Gambians who are outside there and are APRC, inshallah, in the future.
When you look at the APRC Youth Wing, what do you think are your present challenges? Would you think of the idea of coming up with an APRC Youth Wing website where networking becomes easier? Social media like Facebook, Twitter, stuff like that, those will give you an up-to-date analysis or data of where your members are and what are your members saying, and to help you. Are these some of the challenges that you're thinking of and hoping that you'll be able to overcome them?
Yes, Alhaji Malik. You know, we're working on that because like I said, you know, when I came into office, like I said, you know, I alone cannot do it. And I feel it is important that, you know, I have to work with people in order for us to be collectively to achieve our goal. And this is one of the reasons why I also I'm trying at this moment to set up a team whose responsibility is to, you know, explore, you know, like you said, the internet, you know, to make sure that, because there is one thing that we normally come across. We are trying to, you know, to at least set up a team that will look into some of those things and then trying to make, you know, rebuttals and counter-reactions. That is, we all know that we have Gambians in the diaspora, you know, who keeps on castigating, you know, the leadership of this country and the government, you know. So these were some of the things. At one point, you know, I had the chance to call some of my colleagues and said, I think it is important that we begin to respond to some of these things that are happening, you know, so that, and then continue to promote the democratic ideals of His Excellency the President, so that, you know, genuine people outside there will also know that, you know, what those guys are alleging and what is actually happening in the Gambia are two different things, because we cannot continue to keep quiet. And in so doing, these are one of the things that we also talked about. You know, we are working on trying to establish, even at our own level, a newsletter, probably, that will be, you know, showcasing, you know, what the youths, especially the APRC Youth Wing, are doing, you know, so that our fellow youths, or not even the young people, will have the opportunity also to be reading some of these things. And as you rightly put it, you know, we are definitely on track. We're talking on those levels to see how best, you know, we can create networking through the available, you know, internet space.
This is the interview, and my guest is Per Minte. He is the National Youth Mobilizer of the APRC party here in the Gambia. He's headquartered at Canifing South. Per, last year you mobilized around 10,000 youths to go and help in President Jammeh's farms. How successful was that?
Wow, it was a successful story. You know, it was a successful story because here in the Gambia there is one thing that is happening in which if you go to other countries, it's difficult for you to find that same thing happening there. You know, every youth man that you touch in this country and tells him about President Jammeh, the response is always positive, knowing fully well how he stands for the interests of the young people of this country. I always say one thing, that President Jammeh does not use his youthful population as a tool to gain political, you know...
emancipation.
Exactly. But President Jammeh is a leader who speaks the truth, who looks, you know, to his young people and then tell them the truth, what will benefit them tomorrow, and then continue to create the enabling environment for the young people to realize their potentials and be able to contribute their quota towards national development. So you will realize that last year we had this idea, we conceived this idea, and then we went ahead with it. And youth from all sectors of society, you know, align themselves, you know, with the going to the president's farm to support him and to support ourselves. Because we all know proceeds from those farms is what the president uses to pay our school fees. That's what he uses, you know, to support some of our youthful programs and other events as well, and other important things. So going to the president's farm to complement his efforts is something that we should be doing. So we felt it is important to do it, and then we call up for it, and then youths respond, and then it went ahead with the support of genuine partners like, parastatals and institutions who are also, aware of President's commitment toward the development of this country. They all came on board, give us support. Some went further to even, come up also with their personnel. Their staffs also were a part of it. We all went to Kanilai. That's why you were able to see that large turnout of people.
It's not easy to take 10,000 people to Kanilai. You have logistical problems. Sometimes they are nightmarish. Very, very colossal problems.
Exactly.
Like you'll have to think about lodging, feeding, transportation. How did it all fit in the puzzle of taking those 10,000 people to Kanilai?
Well, actually, there's nothing in this world that is insurmountable. When you have dedicated and committed people who are willing and ready to die for the task. Because what happened, like I said, there were committees that were put in place, and each of these committees, make sure that, their responsibilities that were assigned to them, were executed to the fullest. The commitment was there. Then again, like I said, because of the love and the admiration that the young people have, for His Excellency the President, was the driving force. Everybody knows that lodging 10,000 people is never an easy thing. Some didn't even mind to go, to bed, to even sleep. Probably what was good for them was to, loiter around and then, have a word with one or two and things like that. Because, everybody was upbeat. People were happy that, they were in Kanilai. Some for them, that was even the first time that they went to Kanilai. So for them, it is better for them to go around to see what is happening in Kanilai and what the President is doing out there, rather than, going to bed to sleep. Feeding also was there. We had one or two challenges, but at the end of the day, like I said, people do understood that it's never going to be that easy, that probably the big bowl that you will be having at your home when you are at home, will be different, when you go to Kanilai, because you have to share with other people. So eventually, if you are able to have, 4 or 5, spoonful, probably that will be okay for you. So you will realize that the solidarity was there, because the most important thing was for us to go and then support the President. Let the whole world see us, complimenting the efforts of the President.
Did I hear that this time around you're going back to Kanilai and you plan 20,000?
Exactly so. This time around, that's exactly what we're planning. Our intention is to take 20,000, youths to Kanilai. Because the last time when we went, some, were not happy with us. Because what they were saying was that, they wanted to go. Because the thing is, even that number of 10,000, we've mobilized more than that. But because of, we didn't have the actual number of vehicles that we wanted. If not, we would have, it would have been more than 10,000. So some had to go back home. So this is why we're saying that this time around we want to target that number.
20,000.
20,000, Malik. Not only to go to the farm, only to, be seen farming, but there's another side of it. That is, we want to continue to prove to the international community and to the whole world that the young people of this country, the youths of this country, are firmly behind President Jammeh. And there's nothing in this world that can move us away from that. We want to solidify our support, solidify, our belief in President Jammeh. This is also one of the reasons why we are mobilizing, this large number of young people to continue to affiliate ourselves, to them. And also to challenge the women, because it is often said that the women are more closer to President Jammeh. But we, the youths, that's the trend that we want to change. That's why we're taking 20,000.
The youths are also male and female, by the way.
Yes, of course. They are male and female.
I will not be surprised if you have more women than men.
No, of course, you will expect that.
You expect that to
happen. You will have more ladies. I'll call them ladies than boys or whatever.
Anyway.
Because they are more committed.
What is on the ground at the moment as we speak? What is on the ground? What is the program like? What have you started so far in trying to get these 20,000? Are you going to get them from government departments, ministries, the rural areas? What is going on? No, it's all inclusive, Elijah Malik, as we speak, because Gambia is one. And then, like I said, majority of Gambians, 99% are in support of President Jammeh. So when you call up such an event,
a lot of people who want to align themselves.